Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Return to the Vintage. This is Dave. I wanted to give you a weekly update in regards to some of what I was able to find at the garage sales this weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. I think I had to pay up a little bit more than I would have liked for some of the items that I found. Not too much. Still be able to hopefully triple on my investment. I definitely want to always double on my investment, but I think I might be able to triple on some, but had to pay up for a little bit. So I'll go through a little bit about what I was able to find and look forward to your feedback and thoughts. Here's what I was able to track down this weekend. I'm gonna actually, these two are from this past week in regards to the show that I did with this McDonald's score that I had with all types of vintage McDonald's. So I want to give you an update on that. These were the items that I found this past weekend that I really enjoyed. So I'm going to go through those as well. But first of all, like I said, if you see my last video, I really found like a monster collection of vintage and antique McDonald's toys and items from stores, and I just keep going through them, and I just keep finding more and more interesting items. So I figured just to touch on two of these that I found as big winners and ones that I didn't think were going to be as expensive as they were. So the first one is this Hamburglar. So it's a plush. Now you'll usually see all types of plush and things out there, sometimes McDonald's and other types of brands. But what was the differentiator with this? Obviously it's new in bag. The differentiator that I found out was that it has like a plastic face to it. So if you find plush that are McDonald's, I think that's one of the keys is for this Hamburglar. It's that plastic face as opposed to a lot of the other ones that might be out there that are just plush all the way around. This one actually, I didn't realize it's going to go for like $85 to $90. So I have three of these that I was able to find in that group, but I thought to share that. And the other thing, I know it's really hard to sometimes find these in any kind of condition similar, but if you find old McDonald's boxes that are pressed like this, almost all of them really have no value whatsoever. But for some reason, Super Mario 3, this is the full collection of the four that complete this set. All four of these were last sold on eBay for $199 combined. I found this group, and then I found a couple other singles. I just sold just a single like this for $28, and then I sold another single similar for I think it was like $20. But if you get the whole collection, if you happen to find them, even, I mean, these are like almost in mint condition, but if you were to find a set like this, again, I put them up for $199 and we'll see, but that would be an amazing, amazing score. But keep an eye out for this if you happen to see them. So now on to this past weekend and some of the items that I found. So this is, it's an old antique train, almost like a station or like a crossing guard area. I don't know what it is. It doesn't, the problem with this is it doesn't have a name to it. It doesn't have like a Lionel. It doesn't have, and I would imagine it's probably like a high-end, like a Lionel. It doesn't have a Lionel. It doesn't have like an American Flyer. It doesn't have marks. There's just nothing on it that really indicates what it is. So it's a little bit hard to price. I paid $20 for it because it really is, I mean, it's a beautiful item. I mean, I would imagine it's somewhat complete, but I think I can triple my money on it. It just sometimes is really hard if you find train items like this that don't have a name, don't have a number. Still absolutely beautiful, but I mean, we'll see what happens. But again, I paid up for it just because I do think it's going to have some value. If any of my train people out there have some insight in regards to what this might be by name, it would be great to hear your thoughts. So that was one. This one, I find all kinds of stoneware crocks all the time. I mean, I'm kind of fortunate where I am in New England that I find a lot of these, but I've also had a chance to learn a lot about them. So for me, I really like to find anything that's like in Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont. There's some great brands. I've seen Rand a lot, but if you find like these, you got to find this label that shows at least is able to date it back to whether it's the late 1800s, early 1900s. But you definitely need to find that stamp that gives you a sense of when it's from. If you find there are a lot of reproductions, there's a couple other, I mean, I forgot the name of some of the companies, but there's definitely reproductions of these because they're just so attractive to have around the house. And people sometimes make these into lamps as well. But just great items. But I paid $5 for this one. For me, the things that stood out was the label, but most especially this cobalt. The more attractive a cobalt flower or animal or whatever it might be definitely increases the value. The reason it was $5 though is its condition. So the problem is, like, it's got cracks here, it's got nicks, I mean, it's complete, but the problem is it's super fragile. Still, you know, something that I think I'll be able to maybe get, like, I don't know, like $90, maybe 100. But if there weren't cracks like this, like a 3-gallon jug like this would probably go for $200, if not $250. So another thing, when you find these, if you find them, it's really all about condition. But if you're targeting something specific, look for the name, look for the cobalt. So I think for $5, definitely a good score. It was like half off just because they were trying to get rid of it. It's pretty heavy. So next up is this trench art. So you probably find trench art a lot. It's really hard to price because you have to figure what war it was from. You have to figure what it was made out of, and then where the market is. So I thought this one, I get paid up for this one, $30. Figure World War I probably. But I mean, just it's so cool because it's kind of like an ashtray, but it's got like the plane attached to it, which actually just balances on top of this, which is like a bullet shell, which, I mean, it's just incredible. It's got some kind of details in regards to a label here, probably like a coin that was just marked and bent to kind of fit this shell to be this like ashtray figure, or kind of like a desk item. And then you can see under here, I mean, this is pretty heavy, but again, I think in the world of trench art, it's just really hard to price because it just all depends on the war and really your target audience. But this one was just so cool, and I've never seen one that like has this type of shape and format to it. So I paid $30 for it. I'm going to put it up for like $180, and we'll see what I get out of it. But I think it just had enough of the pros outweighing the cons to be able to pay up for it. So I had like that one, which I really liked. So this is a truck. It's like a pile driver truck. I'm trying to find, the brand is a Hubley right here. Again, I love these, that they have the Hubley mark on the back of it, so you have a good understanding of what it is. Hubley makes all kinds of items that are trucks. I'm sure a lot of people here that are watching knows the trucks, the cars, everything that they make. But the pile driver is one that for some reason stands out as a much higher priced item. So for this, I paid $20 for this guy, but I think I can get $80 out of it. I guess the cons here is you don't have like the sticker right here that shows, I guess it would be a little more attractive if I was able to get that. The pile driver portion does extend though, which is nice. I think there's usually like a crane that it kind of adds on to the back here, so I don't have that. But overall condition is pretty nice. If you look at it from the outside, there's no crack on the window there. Again, there's no sticker on this side, which kind of is a downer, but either way, it's still nice, and it has a clean bottom, and the tires are okay, but nothing too great. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm going to triple my money either way, I think. But again, kind of a nice find. And then the last one here, I don't know if a lot of people find apothecary bottles. I found them all over the place. This one is Lydia Pinkham vegetable compound. I find so many of these, and it's just so hard to price them and to sell them. Sometimes you find them a lot smaller. This one, I paid $2 for it. I think the pros here is the labeling, because so much of this is just like identifying what it is, because sometimes you'll see, like here, it'll say what the ounce is, but you can also see underneath the label a little bit more about it. And there's just so many that are out there. There's so much competition, but to find something that has a label, I think it was worth the buy. So if you do find these, you can find them much smaller, and you can find them in all different sizes, and it's so hard to price them out. But for this, I paid for the label pretty much. I'll only spend a little bit on it, and I'll probably charge maybe $20 for it. So either way, I think pretty good weekend. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. If anyone has any thoughts on, you know, the crock, on the train station kind of thing I found there, and the trend chart. It'd be great to get your feedback and thoughts as I look to price all this. So we'll see what happens this next weekend. I hope all is well, and feel free to give me a follow at Return to the Vintage.